dear community, we can stop meditating now and open the space for question and answer. Also for sharing experience. Question and answer means that you may have a question about Bhante. You may have a question about our community or the Discord. You may have a question as it relates to meditation or Buddhism. Sharing experience can be sharing your experience in meditation. It can be to share your understanding about the truth or your understanding about our community here, and also to share some experience in your life that maybe you'd like to check in about or work through with the Sangha. Sangha means community of well-minded practitioners. That is, that we all have a relationship with mindfulness and we have a good intention in showing up and being here in community to take care our own suffering and also to take care of the suffering of the others. So with that, I will open the space for the community to share and ask questions.
I have a couple of thoughts that might be a little bit wandering. Is that okay?
First come, first serve.
Okay. I was just thinking back to, I don't know, maybe even a year ago when I first encountered your TikTok and kept, I turned on the notification and kept, getting the notifications, and I would tune in to see what was up and to see how people were reacting. And I felt like um, I was seeing, like I was in the wilderness. Well, I am, and I was at the time in my spiritual life, and I was seeing a kind of a nice burning, fire off in the distance that offered um, kind of not through you per se, but through Buddhism itself, and you as a practitioner who, or as a monk who was willing to put themselves out there as an invitation for others to, join this, really beautiful practice that I've had some experience with, but certainly nothing, to speak of in the big picture. So I was just kind of, letting, uh, um, uh, I was kind of floating, through those thoughts, and I, I happened to come upon this space at a time right as I decided that I wasn't able to, live at, at my home anymore. And I have 4 children and a husband, so that I wasn't going to, let them go, but I needed to go. And so I was and am almost, I'm literally homeless, kind of traveling from space to space and just kind of taking care of people and situations, and with a goal to, to settle somewhere, not permanently, but a little bit more permanently around January or so. So I'm just really thankful that this has all developed into this really amazing uh, sangha, and being able to see the growth, uh, or whatever you want to call it. So uh, maybe growth isn't the right word, but the you know the the access to be able to practice like this, although we're all far away, and this is a really difficult way, to practice together. But in some senses, it's a real blessing too. I mean, in many senses, it's a real blessing, and I'm very grateful to have the sangha, to have been introduced to your teacher Bhante, and to have gotten a little bit closer to the warmth of the spiritual fire of, or 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 coldness or whatever. There's doesn't need to be a name for it, but of Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, in this particular non sectarian way, which for me works really well, at least for right now. And I feel enormously grateful uh, um, to uh, explore the possibilities going forward, to, be able to dedicate and give up, as you were saying, mind and body, to help this great kind of happening to progress. I'm really looking forward to it. Some days it's really hard for everyone, I know, but I'm very grateful again, and really looking forward to it. And I thank you and your teacher very much for making this space accessible and available to us and everyone who works on it. I know there's many people who work on the server and etc. So I'm very appreciative. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much for your sharing. That's really great. There's a Plum Village song, Thich Nhat Hanh practice song, meditation song, wisdom song called Forget Your Perfect Offering. And we have set up some idea in our minds about perfection, doing things the way we think they should be done or could be done or would be done. And that song is saying, forget your perfect offering, forget the ideal way of doing it. Just ring the bells that still can ring. Just be mindful now. Just show up now. Just go for a walk now. Just do some good deeds now. Just participate in the way that you can now. And that's how the light gets in. So we don't need a perfect Sangha. We don't need a perfect tradition. We don't need a perfect situation here on Discord. We don't need a perfect teacher. Thank Buddha. We just need to ring the bells that still can ring. We need to show up. Need to let the light get in. Progress and development take time, whether it's for the individual or for the collective, for the group. And actually, these things support each other. Our own development supports the group's development supports us as individuals. And our Sangha here is an invitation to get involved in as many levels as you can imagine, in as many ways as you can imagine, for volunteering, for cooperation, collaboration, protection, for making donation, for supporting each other directly, for offering help, and for reaching out for help. The tradition that I am representing and I am mainly under the umbrella of, although I'm very open and not sectarian in any way, but is concerned with starting more and more meditation center, community resource zones and areas. So many meditation center and volunteering center are already open and available for members of our community. And over time, it's likely that we will start our own meditation center. Even though we feel like we're just showing up for a Discord call or to do some meditation, or we see the Discord and it's there's some resources there, but maybe we wish it was some kind of more energetic or active or engaging space in other ways. The same with our mind, the same with our life, right? We wish it was more exciting, or we were running around, teaching people or helping people or working on our self-improvement all the time. Actually, keep turning over the soil. Keep showing up. Keep bringing your mindfulness and detachment to the present moment. Keep bringing the crack to the shell to this present moment. That's how the chick gets out, through the crack, through the little taps. And share, please share what you can share. Ask what you can ask. Do what you can do, and then you will be able to do more. As we become more aware and more present, and as we get more involved in Sangha or community, in doing good deeds, in mindfulness, in taking responsibility, more and more things are going to come up. So that's okay. We take care of those things that come up with our mindfulness and detachment. And this is not, we're not taught this. We're not being told about this as a usual Western person or concept that, we're going to take care of the situation with mindfulness and detachment. But actually, this is a real and powerful way to heal, to be in community, to support each other, to collaborate, to cooperate. Mindfulness and detachment is more important than generosity. But generosity is not separate from mindfulness and detachment. The truth is that there is no one to give, no one to receive. But to experience that fully, we need to become skillful to both give and receive. To give what we don't dare to give, and to receive what we don't dare to receive. For some of us, eating the praise or receiving the praise will be more difficult than receiving the blame. For some of us, we are more comfortable to be disliked than to be liked. For most of us, we are more comfortable to feel comfortable than to feel uncomfortable. So we need to dare to be uncomfortable. We also need to dare to be comfortable, but not attached to either comfortable or uncomfortable. Not attached is not attached in and of itself. Words fall away, experiences fall away, mental and physical sensations fall away. But it's not just about me as the monk or as the teacher or the facilitator. It is about our community of practice, It's about cooperation, collaboration, protection, communication. The Sangha is our field of merit. So please feel invited and safe to share your experience and ask any question that you may have at this time. Go ahead, Simcha, if you can. Use your voice.
How do you deal with anxiety if you can't get away to meditate?
Well, this idea to get away to meditate is going to make you feel anxious. This is just going to support anxiety. Feel it, eat it, be willing to be anxious, to feel that heart beating. Right? We start to feel anxious, our heart starts to beat quickly, and it's, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Well, if we change our perspective, if we look to the heart beating as this expression of compassion, each beat of your heart is love. It's like if we go outside and sweat, or if we're really hot and our body is just sweating, sweating, sweating. This is compassion. You are being drenched in the water, the protection of compassion, of Avalovikitesvara's great seeing, hearing, right? To cool you, to protect you. So also when we feel that anxiety, this beating heart and this excitement, well, this is the drum of liberation. It's wonderful to feel your heart beating. It's wonderful to experience that and to know that there is a inherent safety, there's an inherent liberatory quality to that awareness of the beating heart. You can say who beats the drum, but it doesn't matter. What is this? What was my original face before my parents were born? Drinking tea, I am happy.
I think about that a lot.
What do you think about Simcha?
What my original face was before I was born in this
Okay,
life.
yes. So that deep questioning, that opening, is great. That investigation is great. It's good practice. But when the heart starts beating, when the anxiety comes knocking, these are the drums of liberation. Now you don't need to ask the question, you need to receive the answer. And the answer is in the direct experiencing. Now, it might not be the full answer, but full answers are for fools. The questioning itself is the wisdom. But sometimes we also need to be open to the answer that life is giving us. And anxiety is an answer that isn't intellectually complicated if we can bring our mind home to the direct experience in our body. So that's a great answer to listen to.
Thank you, Bhante.
Mm-hmm. We can also, when the heart beats like that, when we have a situation, we can put our hand on our heart. Just feel the heart beating, really being aware, really attending to that experience. Anyone new here to the community have a question? Or something to share about their understanding? New or old, big or small? Stephen, go ahead.
Oh, okay,
Speak
you hear
up.
me?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So how do you? I don't know if this is like a me thing, but like how does one find true happiness? You know, I heard true happiness, but like you're not always completely happy. Like there's always ups and downs. But like I know people that feel like I know monks have like this happiness side to them where they're never like down or anything. How you like mentally like train your mind to be always happy all the time? Find like pure happy thought type stuff.
Is happiness pleasure?
I mean, happiness. I would say happiness is technically a pleasure. It's something you like. It's something that everyone wants to have. I mean, you technically say that.
If you are feeling pleasure, does that mean that you're happy?
Not really, in a sense. You're not really. I guess not.
Okay. If you're feeling pain, does that mean you're unhappy?
Yeah, you're unhappy when you feel pain.
Do you need to be unhappy if you feel pain?
I mean, you could be unhappy then, but I feel like being happy is more of a good thing in life. You should always try to be more happier than unhappy.
Is pain a
Always have a
bad
positive
thing?
mindset. I say yes, it is.
Is childbirth a bad thing?
No, childbirth's a good thing.
Is childbirth painful?
Of course it is.
Okay. Is pain a bad thing?
In a sense, I guess no. Some scenarios, no.
Pain is neither good or bad, and reality can be found neither in the past or the future. So here and now, what is blocking you from happiness?
I guess it's everything, all the negative thoughts I see on social media. It's like, oh, it's like I browse social media a lot. I see all like all bad stuff and TikTok. I guess the social media that brings up the negative thoughts.
Happiness tends to be found through merit making. Happiness tends to be found through doing good deeds, being good and doing good. Because the modern mindset leads us to a sense of an ability to live a life that's mainly about feeling good, we neglect being good and doing good. When you neglect being good and doing good, happiness will be far out of reach. You will just be focusing on feeling pleasure and avoiding pain. So if we want to establish ourselves in happiness, we need to deprioritize feeling good, and we need to reprioritize or more fully prioritize doing good deeds, and being good. Doing good deeds means that we focus on doing for the others, not just for ourselves. And actually, this is to put ourselves in community, not just about a transaction of, oh, I'm doing for this person, or I'm leading the meditation group because it's a good thing. But we put ourselves in community. And we set a strong intention in our heart and mind to be good, to follow precepts, to live an ethical life. And when we are more focused on doing good and being good, we will give less energy to complicated thinking as it relates to what we like and dislike. I think Gabe may have something to say. Go ahead, Gabe.
Oh, hi. Is my audio on?
Yeah.
Hi, Bhante. Hi, Sangha. I hope all of you are doing well tonight. Um, actually wanted to share kind of some personal strides in a sense that I've been making. I remember, Bhante actually answered a question that I posed in one of the latest sessions. I think my question was, I was watching, I was trying to watch videos that were educational on YouTube, and I was kind of asking how processing them is good. And it was part of it was about using them and not being invested, not being attached to them. And I've in a sense, I feel like I've been trying to apply that to areas of my daily life. Like, for example, I am also a practicing Christian, and I am thinking about how, in a sense, being a part of a community that is a little bit like a sangha, but also kind of different in some ways. Like, I have friends who read the Bible, but still try to implement like genuinely good ideals into their life, and it's just kind of inspiring sometimes to me. Um, and I've also kind of been thinking about stuff that I probably attach to in my daily life, and I think one of those things is oftentimes my hobbies. And I've actually discovered when I'm doing my hobbies, there are like it's not always a completely happy experience. It something that involves creativity, at least for me, also involves a lot of pain. But sticking through my creative process when I'm doing my hobby, it's making me realize that there are both good and bad parts of the kind of like the creative process. And I'm kind of thinking about how sticking with it is really beneficial, even though there are like parts of the process that are really mentally draining or really tedious, and then there are other parts that are just so much fun. It, so kind of like trying to think about the goods and the bads, but not like, but also being mindful of it. If you understand what I mean by that.
Stay in the present moment. Thank you, Gabe.
May I say something?
Yeah, Morgan, go ahead.
This was the first time I've meditated in a long time, and it's both really messy and simple at the same time. Like, my thoughts are just constant, but my breath, it's constant too, but I find a lot of peace in it. And I'm thankful that this space is here, and I'm thankful to everyone at Bhante.
Okay, thank you so much, Morgan. We should not attach to meditation, but we also should not reject meditation. Attachment and rejection will only make difficulties, make more ignorance and attachment. We tend to think that ignorance and attachment is all about the negative. So we think, okay, we don't meditate, or we don't take care of our body and mind, and now we have some kind of negative mental formations or painful physical formations, something like that. Or we are weak in some sense. And that this is ignorance and attachment. But actually, ignorance and attachment also relates to certain kinds of strength, certain kinds of positive mental formations that are also based in wrong view. You can be some big, strong, happy and healthy meditator. You have attachment to meditation, but you have a wrong view. You have a wrong understanding of someone, of a self. You have a wrong understanding of being attached in a skillful way. Don't be attached. Don't be skillful or unskillful. Don't be someone. Don't be at some place. Don't be in some situation. Widen out. Brighten out right now. Morgan, you said it very nicely in that complicated thoughts are here. The mind is here. The body is here. Oh my gosh, my life is here. But the breathing is also here. And the breathing is the Buddha. The breathing is peace. The breathing is freedom. You don't need to attach to the breathing for the breathing to be here. You don't need to attach to freedom for freedom to be here. Freedom is free of good and bad. Freedom is free of progress and failure or going backwards. That's the point. That's the practice. That's the Buddha's enlightenment, to be free of success and failure. This Buddha nature is what allows us to do things that lead to pleasure and also things that lead to pain, that allow us to have success and also allow us to have failure. But as a practitioner and as our meditation, our right meditation, we should emphasize to come home to our Buddha nature, our Buddha mind, which is not in the past, not in the future. It's the refresh, restart point. It's the freedom point. It's the present moment breathing point. And it is real. This community is real. The breathing is real. Freedom is real. And to say it is real is only to say that the mind is a clear blue sky, and we shouldn't be confused about that. It's not to say that there aren't clouds. It's not to say that real is real. But whatever appears is appearing and disappearing in and of itself. This body and mind is appearing and disappearing in and of itself. We don't need to be too worked up about it. Now, the Buddha had to leave his home behind and fast for such a long time and be out in the Indian summer without any cover and just laying in the heat of the sun and sit under this tree for 49 days or however long he was under there, okay, to get this enlightenment and have the corresponding freedom. But for us, we are in the tsunami, the continuous tsunami from the Buddha's original enlightenment. So we are not alone. The Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are available to us. Okay? We take refuge. We can change our life. We can stay at the meditation center full time. We can become the monk or nun or yogi. We can become the donor or the supporter that is concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. We can take on roles and responsibilities that are directly in relationship with the Buddha's original enlightenment, the tsunami of wisdom and compassion stemming from 2,700 years ago, and the corresponding community, modern day Buddhist monks and nuns and meditation masters and meditation centers, volunteering centers. So there is just like in our Buddha nature, there is a immediate recognition of that, and there's a peace and a freedom that go along with that recognition, but there's also the natural continuation of our recognition, which is a stemming from changing our mind and then changing our life. And through changing our life, changing our mind. Not only concerned with ourselves, but also concerned with all, and especially concerned with the others. And it's not about some particular person, some particular place, some particular situation, some particular barrier, or some particular way to get beyond that barrier. It's your mindfulness and detachment and your sincerity to do good deeds, your sincerity to recognize clinging and release, and to move forward from that, with that, concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Concerned with waking up, the ways of waking up, and the community of waking up. This is skillful attachment. And skillful attachment also is to be used only and experienced only, not to be attached to, not to be rejected. Any other questions or sharing?
I always, out of curiosity, this is more a question for you. You're a monk. You guys meditate a lot and you seek peace, but like, is there times where you guys ever find yourself down in moments, or like, is there moments where you ever feel like you're down and you have to like kind of meditate for a second?
This is the teaching. It takes a village. Raising a child on your own is not really good. Not a good idea. Because the child may get down, but more important, the parent or the person gets down. Right? And so at that time, what does the child do? Well, the child naturally goes to another member of the village, a member of the community that is healthy and wealthy in body and mind, in heart. Then the child makes use of that. So also, we need to know how to detach from the body and mind of being down and to make use of the body and minds of others that are healthy and wealthy, that are mindful, that are skillful, that are peaceful, that are brave, that are funny. We need a lot of different elements to our mind. So concern yourself with becoming a part of the community of doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment. We need community. Being a Buddhist means that we take refuge in the Sangha. We take refuge in the community of well-minded practitioners. Not about you, not about your understanding only. Now, this is difficult for everyone, not just Western people or modern people, but it's difficult to make use of the understanding of others. But we have to do it. Make use of the experience of others, but we have to do it. We all have a lot of value, you know? For someone without a car, an old, beat down, dirty low quality vehicle is a Bugatti, an Audi A8. It's a godsend. Okay? So what may be not particularly important for you may be exactly what that other person needs. But if we are only doing for ourselves, or only doing for one other person in particular, or one other group in particular, then we will not have the chance to detach, and we will not have the chance to use. More and more less self-fixated, more and more open to communication, collaboration, volunteering, doing good deeds. Detach from our own mind. Detach from our own understanding. Detach from our own personal position. Widen out, brighten out, open out. If we are only focused on ourselves, then our depression is very important. If we are only focused on ourselves, our own anxiety is very important. If we are focused on the others or all, it's still important. It's still something we have to take care of and deal with, but it's not the whole world. And also not just about people or human beings, the trees, the animals, the sunshine, living and non-living beings, seen and unseen beings, higher and lower beings, not just concerned with ourselves. Namo Guanshu Yimpusa, Namo Guanshu Yimpusa, Namo Guanshu Yimpusa, Namo Avalovikiteshvara. Great appreciation, great obeisances to the Bodhisattva of compassion. Okay, let's share the merit of our practice together today. So we can all bring our hands together and repeat after me. May all the merits that we have done till now be dedicated and shared out towards all sentient beings. May all sentient beings rejoice and share in our merits. May it be, may it be, may it truly be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, dear Sangha, keep your head up. Don't be too serious. Be open, be playful, be free. And see you again soon, all right? Take care.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.